see them in my dreams. They're coming back.
Hello and welcome to Friends Talk Film episode number 12. It's been a few weeks. We took a few weeks off over the summer. Adults having to do adult things, people having babies, people making babies, people moving in together. So now we're back full time. We should be bringing you a weekly episode every week, along with trailer reviews and film reviews throughout the week as well. If you're new to the show, me alongside my lifelong friends who change every week, depending who's available. We love film, so we discuss it on a daily basis. So we thought we share our thoughts and opinions with you. So we hope you enjoy. So on today's hot topics, I'm joined with my friend Chris today.
Hi.
Thanks for being here, Chris.
Thanks very much. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good. It's been a few weeks since you've been on,
Right?
right?
Yeah, adult things like you said, having
Adult
a baby.
things, yeah,
having
exactly.
a baby. It's kind of stopped me watching films.
Yeah, right.
I watched a couple of films recently, so I'm back up to speed.
Getting up to speed.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be ahead of me at this point. Right, so today's hot topics, we're going to be talking about Deadpool 2, Donald Glover being cast in young Han Solo. We got the Obi-Wan spin-off, rumours with Ewan McGregor. Joss Whedon directing Star Wars. We've got the film Escobar. Black Panther casting updates. And we're going to talk about some of the latest trailers which have dropped in the last few weeks. So we'll just move straight on to the first topic. So Deadpool 2, basically within the last 24 hours, in a surprise development, Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, basically he's left the project due to creative differences. So it looks like he's had a bit of a fallout with Ryan Reynolds. Just in terms of the creative, apparently it's not that they're not getting on personally. It's just Ryan Reynolds was a producer on the first one. And I think because of the popularity of it and his character and how much of a driving force he was in it, his producing powers and, influence have increased in this film. So the direction of this film, I think there's, them logging heads. So sources say Reynolds and Miller had increasingly head-butted over certain creative issues. But Fox have said the parting ways is amicable and is already jumping hand in hand with Miller into another project, Influx, which is an adaptation of a science fiction novel by Daniel Suarez. The original Deadpool was produced on a $58 million budget and grossed over $782 million worldwide. So that's due for a 2018 release. So
It's just,
thoughts on the film?
I mean, obviously, it's such a successful film, and a major part of that has to be down to Reynolds, even viral marketing it by releasing the footage at the Comic-Con and sticking with the project even when he couldn't get it made. It was even to Fox, and taking it to Fox and saying there's no way this is getting made, and I mean. Surely it must feel like his baby. It's just disappointing not having Miller. Yeah,
because I think, Miller was such a big influence on that first film. His direction, and the rumours are apparently he released the test footage virally, which got a lot of people hyped for it, saying we need to see this movie. But I don't think, it's going to cause too much of a problem. I think that with Reynolds' influence, I think another director can come on board and just sort of complete that. I just think it's a bit more of a shock than anything because it just seemed like they worked so well together on the first one.
I think so. I've been a big shock because it was such a successful pairing the first time around, and that film, hands down, as you said, that's $782 million.
Yeah, $782 million.
It's ridiculous on a budget, such a tiny budget. I mean, obviously that budget will probably go up.
Yeah, for the second one. Yeah, especially if they're going to be introducing cable and stuff like that. We're going to be talking time travel. We're going to be talking about all these things. So definitely a bigger budget on the second one.
But no, it's still going to be a good film. It has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's due for release probably around March 2018. And there's an untitled schedule release from Fox at that point. Yeah, so we're thinking Deadpool's probably going to fit in there. We spoke about this a few weeks back when we were talking about the young Han Solo movie and the possibility of the casting of young Lando. We talked about Donald Glover being the favourite, and it has been officially announced now. So, Donald Glover, if you're not familiar, he's a big star of the TV show Community. He's been in a lot of film projects. He was recently seen in the Matt Damon film to Mars.
How was it?
Mission to Mars, was it?
The Martian.
The Martian. So he had a bit in that. He's also upcoming in the new Spider-Man movie as well. Spider-Man Homecoming. So, he's got a great presence. He's a really good producer for TV and music. He's got a TV series out at the moment, actually, as well, which is just starting to come over to the US soon, which looks really, really good. It's called Atlanta. So I've seen some of the trailers for that.
I've heard about that.
And it's supposed to be really, really good. So yeah, so basically it's been announced now. So what they've actually said is we're so lucky to have an artist as talented as Donald join us, says directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller. These are big shoes to fill and even bigger cape, and this one fits in perfectly, which will save us money on alterations. We'd also like to publicly apologise to Donald for ruining Comic-Con for him forever. So now he's going to be part of that fanboy world, right?
Exactly. I watched The Martian. He was really good. It's surprising because when you mentioned you're talking about him, I was trying to think about what he'd been in, and The Martian. Yeah, he was really good in that. Great film, anyway. I like that film. And they've got to find someone young. Catch me up on any other details on it as well.
Yeah, so it's got John and Lawrence Kasdan on script duty. So it's still untitled. So it's going to be a Star Wars story, pretty much like Rogue One. It's supposed to be with us in May 2018. So we don't know too much about it. Obviously, we know who's playing the young Han Solo. But it's in terms of what the story is, we don't know. So we think it's obviously going to be set before episode number 4 because it's obviously be a young Han Solo. We're wondering whether it's going to be you're going to see that interaction between him where they talk about it in the original trilogy where he's saying, I lost the Falcon to him on a bet and that kind of stuff. I think we're going to kind of see that story.
I think people want to see that Han Solo maybe 10 years before New Hope, sort of coming out of his young background, and how he meets Lando. I mean, also I think people want to see how he meets Chewie. I think for me personally, if that gets seen, I would like to see how he, because obviously the Wookiees generally live on their planet, Kashyyyk. And and we see a little bit of that in episode 3.
That's right.
Where Yoda's with them, and he leaves, and they are still free people at the end of that. Where does Chewbacca come into that, and how does he go from being there to meeting Han? Because it's not the kind of place that someone like Han would end up being.
No, that's right.
You know, so it's quite. Me personally,
is he being chased by space pirates? Is he there to escape? And then does he?
Is there a bounty on Chewie that he picks him up, and then he decides that actually,
he didn't do anything wrong. He actually saves him. That'd be really interesting. That might be an interesting dynamic. Where that is very not like comic booky, but I've saved your life, so I owe you a life debt kind of thing. So is it one of those life debts, and then that just actually turns into a friendship? So they save each other, and then they end up being friends. So we'll see. Anyway,
we'll see that.
But I think it's really great casting. I think he can bring a lot of humor to the role. As well, Donald Glover as well, and he's got that sarcastic and dry wit, so it'd be really great to see him do that.
Exactly.
I'm wondering whether they'll. I hope they don't, because I don't think they've done it in flashbacks. But will they have like a flashback? Will they show Billy Dee and that kind of stuff? I hope they just keep it in the time period.
I think, I'd like to see, like, the only thing else I'd like to see would be like maybe Han's parents, if they go that far back.
That's interesting.
I'd like to see a bit more about that, because that is touched on in the novels a lot.
Right. Okay.
Like the older novels before the reboot.
Before they changed the canon.
And after the trilogy changed canon, like there was a touching on like his background and where he comes from. And so maybe that would be interesting to see, but we'll find out more, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So sticking on the Star Wars theme, Obi-Wan spin-offs with Ewan McGregor. So this is all just Ewan McGregor talking. This is nothing official. So basically, Ewan McGregor appeared in The Force Awakens, whether you know or not, for about 0.32 seconds. There's a slight snippet of his voice in the montage of sound where Rey opens the chest and touches the lightsaber, and she goes through that dream sequence of voice. And basically, he seems really curious about how a Obi-Wan film might work. So he was actually doing the rounds for his directorial debut, American Pastoral. And McGregor got chatting to about the franchise. He said, "I've always thought there was a story to tell between my last one and Alec Guinness's first one." So obviously, in the prequels, Obi-Wan was last seen handing baby Luke over to the Tatooine-based step-parents. So, he hands him over. We'd all like to know how that ended. So it'd be fun. So what he said is, it would be fun to film that story. Now I'm older. I might be the right age. I'm 45. Alex Guinness was 60? I could do 2 of them. So he's talking about he could do a slightly younger version of him and an older version of him. But obviously there's such a big timeline they can play with. And he said, personally, like the idea of Ben and Boga coming, creating havoc in Studion. So I think that's really interesting. And I think we touched on it before with Sasha in previous podcasts, where an Obi-Wan film actually would make sense, probably more so than a young Han Solo film. Because and why recast? Ewan McGregor's still a great actor. He's still got capabilities. Could this be one of those that now he's directing? Yeah, I'll direct and star in it. Who knows? But
for me, it'd just be what the story would be. I mean, what would the premise be? Would he be on a mission, like a sudden on a mission from like Yoda, who obviously still knows that he's there?
Yeah.
Would he be dragged into something on Tatooine by somebody else? You know, the important thing is that obviously he's in Tatooine to make sure Luke is okay. So realistically, he's got a watching brief on Luke, and then obviously by the time Alec Guinness takes on the role, 30 years after. Well, 20 years.
About 20 years. It's probably
about 20 years.
It's probably 18 or something.
That'd be about 18, 19, and 21 at the most. But so say 20 years. So, you know, is there me personally, I wouldn't want them to force a story to be told. So it would have to be a good script.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing you've got to wait for the right script for that. I think obviously Ewan McGregor is the perfect person to play that. And I think he deserves a chance to go, just for the amount of work he did, you know, with the prequels. I think it's really important that he gets a chance to now take another step with them in the new films as them obviously becoming more popular.
Yeah. I mean, as much as the prequels are disliked by people, Ewan McGregor wasn't bad in it.
No.
You know, and it was a case of, you know, it was poor directing, you know, and again, script issues and stuff like that, story, but ultimately this was the first time a lot of them had worked in front of a big green screen. You know, because that was all CGI.
New technology,
very little practical effects.
And he looked good. And I loved, you know, Attack of the Clones, how much maligned that was in terms of the final battle scenes. His part where he's visiting the cloning structure, all that part with Django and blah, blah, was good. I liked that flow of the film. I thought the fight was good. I liked how that went. I think he deserves a chance to revel, I suppose, in the resurgence of the brand. You know, and maybe become like the Sean Bean character of the in every single film for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you know, I think, you know, they could either do sort of like that Star Wars. I think Sasha mentioned this, like this Star Wars Western type feel, whereas in Tatooine is looking after the young one, and maybe they come scouting for these kids. You know, the Emperor sends people out looking for these kids, and he has to try and protect them or something. Yeah, like that.
I think that, like we said, the script is going to be the key factor there. Like, what is the premise? What's the, you know, to use a Spielberg term, what's the MacGuffin? What is the point? Where are you going to go with it? As long as that's good, McGregor will be fine with it, and then the casting will flow from there. Because everyone will be in that.
That's right. So last bit of Star Wars, Joss Whedon. Basically, he's been very quiet since obviously Age of Ultron, but he's just recently had an interview with Complex, and he revealed he's in the middle of a screenplay that was a departure from things I'm known for, and as dark as anything I've ever written. It's a historical fiction / a horror movie. Basically where the world is going insane around World War II. So it's going to be quite a different film from what we've seen probably from Joss Whedon before. But he opened on the idea about directing a Star Wars movie. He said, I saw the trailer for Rogue One a while ago and was like, I want to do that. To make a Star Wars movie and not to be wed to the bigger picture. So I feel like they've... So I think it's more of a case of he likes the idea of doing these spin-offs in their own universe rather than trying to be part of the bigger universe.
Yeah, I think they do well.
And I can understand that based on what happened with Ultron. Yeah. Because I think, you know, the studio
taking a break from Ultron, maybe enforced a break from Ultron.
Right.
Because it didn't really get the... I watched it again recently, and although I like watching it, and there are some really good parts, Paul Bettany, obviously I like being Paul Bettany, but generally speaking, on the second watch through, and you're thinking about Guardians and how well that went down, it wasn't as well received. It wasn't.
No, and I think, you know, they were trying to fit in a lot of different story arcs to build on the next phase as opposed to being its own movie. Yeah, and I think we probably struggle with that more. Like the first Avengers is still probably my favorite of the Marvel movies, because it was just so well done. Yeah. But I think he could really do something with Star Wars.
Again, character based. You know, would he then go on board with McGregor and do a McGregor movie, Obi-Wan movie? You know, I mean, he's got experience in doing sci-fi and fantasy. He knows his stuff. I mean, he'd be a great director to have on board. Yeah. There is a thing about him wanting to do things his way.
Yeah, that's right.
And he has a very unique perspective on how he wants films done. A lot of film directors do, but specifically him.
And I think what probably enticed him about the Rogue One trailer was we know Joss Whedon really likes strong female character
Yes, he
developments,
does. Oh, yes, he
like
does,
Buffy and all this kind of stuff. So the fact that he
Firefly,
saw this Star Wars movie with a lead female character, he's like, that's something I want to
Maybe
do.
Leia then.
You know,
maybe
so
maybe
a young Leia movie.
Because I
Who
mean,
knows?
maybe not Leia in the Senate for 20 years, but that
No, but if you
boring
take
as
her,
anything,
yeah,
but
but
like,
if you
yeah.
take her more from like Star Wars Rebels, you know, because she's appeared in that, and gone to that kind of era where she's kind of young and upcoming, and so she's actually physically involved in a lot of stuff. Who knows?
Who
But,
knows? Who knows?
I think that'd be a good thing to see.
Oh yeah, good.
Right, okay, and now moving away from Star Wars news, we're going to be talking about Escobar. So since 2014, notorious drug lord Pablo Escobar has been played by Benicio del Toro in Escobar Paradise Lost, and Wagner Moura in Netflix's Narcos, which is an amazing series.
I haven't got around to it, but I want to see it.
Season 2, two seasons featuring Escobar, just fantastic, just unbelievable. There are 2 films currently in the works. So one is El Patron, which is a name that he went by as well, with John Leguizamo. And the details are scarce on that. He has been in many films. He was the clown in the original Spawn movie. He has been in John Wick. He's been in Kick-Ass 2.
Action films, animated films, TV.
He's done the voices in Ice Age.
Yeah.
So he's all over
It's
the place.
amazing, yeah.
But 2017's Escobar has just added Peter Sarsgaard to his currently very small cast.
Oh, okay.
So basically, he's got Javier Bardem, who's also co-producing as Pablo, and Penelope Cruz as journalist Virginia Vallejo. So
What's it like watching that? Seriously.
So
it's like,
yeah.
Penelope Cruz, I'm there.
Yeah, right. So this basically Escobar has now gained Peter Sarsgaard as DE agent Neymar. So it's very similar to what obviously the TV show Narcos has done, but it's about the relationship more with Pablo Escobar and the news reporter who was trying to help him publicize him and apparently had an affair with and stuff like that.
I see.
Which they touched on in Narcos, but not as much.
Detail,
I think this is more what they're going to be going through.
I'll watch that, definitely. Yeah, sounds good.
You know, it sounds like a really, really good cast. You know, Bardem is coming up in the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
When's that coming out again?
That is that should be next year. And Sarsgaard will soon be playing Robert Kennedy opposite Natalie Portman in Pablo Larraín's Big Awards contender. So there's lots of stuff these guys going on.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering, are we seeing too much of Pablo Escobar recently with Narcos and stuff like that? I saw a lot of people actually online from sort of like the Colombian community who are like, there's this stereotypical image of Colombia as it is, and now you're almost bringing all that back.
You kind of like glamorizing
what
the
happened
stuff that shouldn't need to be
because
happening.
there's parts of that TV show Narcos are like, come on, Escobar, and you shouldn't be doing that. He's a drug lord who killed millions of people. Was like one of the richest people on earth. And
at the moment, Colombia is being, I think, they didn't the President or Prime Minister, I think, was up for the Nobel Prize for the work he's been doing in Colombia to reduce the effects of the drug cartels.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe you got up you onto something there. I mean, if there is already a TV show and there's been a film, 2 films, and has
just in
another
the last couple
film,
of years,
maybe they just need to find something else to be doing. But
or maybe the studio's jumping on the hype, right? So Escobar's like really popular in terms of people
It's
are
cheap
going
to do that,
online
isn't
and
it?
searching more about him now to find out more about him. They're like, we're going to jump on this bandwagon. It's something I'm going to see, no doubt. Really good cast.
Yeah,
so
casting
we'll
is
have
great.
to wait and see. But Escobar is coming in 2 films next year. So Escobar actually goes into production next month. So it won't be too long before that's out. Maybe the end of 2017.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about Marvel. So just a bit of a catch up on Marvel's Black Panther, some casting updates. So back in September, there was news that Winston Duke will reportedly be joining the cast of Black Panther. He's now been confirmed by the studio. But he's not the only new addition. Of Forrest Whitaker, Daniel Kaluuya, and Florence Kasumba are now all on board. So obviously this follows Black Panther from Civil War, Chadwick Boseman, and the story of him grappling with his royal and warrior destiny and his enemies old and new, sort of like in his home country, and obviously things that have developed since Civil War.
So that's what I was interested about in terms of Black Panther. Would it be like going back to the origin of the Black Panther must play a part in the film.
I think they'll probably do
introduce
some
the character.
flashback. I think
maybe at the beginning.
Yeah, maybe.
But I was interested to see if it would go on.
Yeah.
Like, in the time continuity.
Yeah, so I think it's going to they're just going to
War.
go back to Wakanda because obviously they set Wakanda up in the Civil War. You saw it at the end.
And
of
they
the
also
credits
mentioned it in
and stuff like that.
in Ultron as well.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
they?
it. But getting
Ultron.
the
vibranium
and stuff from it
Yeah.
exactly. So. But yeah, so the fact that Whittaker's on board, I think, is fantastic. He's on Azuri, an old statesman in T'Challa's home nation of Wakanda. Kalua is a veteran of Black Mirror and Sicario, and he's set to play Wakabi, a confidant for our hero. So he'll be very close to Boseman.
Okay.
And finally, reprising a role from Captain America: Civil War, Kasumba will be Ayo, one of the best fighters in the Dora Milaje. So there's that scene where you see her as his bodyguard in Civil War, and she's obviously going to be quite a big part of this. This has got an outstanding cast. It's already got Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Danny Gurira. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, who was behind the Rocky reboot, Creed. And this could be.
This is gonna.
Really
I think it needs to be. I think obviously with the press that was happening at the end of around the Oscars about the lack of black actors being put forward for roles, I think this is going to become, rightly or wrongly, not only just a superhero, it's going to become a huge statement of intent about black acting in a mainstream audience. Yeah, because and quite rightly so, because Black Panther is a great character, and why should it not be? Well, why would you want to have any sort of, apart from obviously you've got
Netflix's Luke Cage, which has
Luke
done
Cage,
well.
But no, I mean the villain obviously is the chap who got Gollum.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is coming back as the villain. Right. Yeah. Fair enough, and I think there's a story to be told there. Obviously, it's going to be a very big part of the Marvel's new direction. I can't wait for it. I want to see, and I want to see it be successful, and I want to see it be successful worldwide to really prove a point. Really,
it'll be interesting to see if they touch on the Winter Soldier as well, because obviously he's been sort of iced up in the last one.
They took him.
They're going to be working on him to try and clear his memory and get rid of all that conditioning and stuff like that.
Will Steve Rogers be involved in any way? Because
what cameos will we see? Absolutely.
What cameos will we see, and will it build at all towards that? The ever approaching Infinity War.
Yeah, that's right. So it's due for release in February 2018.
Can't wait.
I think the cameras start rolling, I think, in January or February next year. So really looking forward to that. Right, so we're going to talk some trailers which have just been released recently. One of the top ones was Logan. So obviously it's the third in the Wolverine trilogy. Spin-off from the X-Men. Now this is apparently Hugh Jackman's last appearance as Wolverine.
Sad times.
I think so. I think as much as we've seen a lot of Jackman, I don't think that's his fault. He came on the screen. Nobody really thought he would do much with it.
Dominated the screen time.
And dominated the screen time. All the films have been centralized around him. And I think that's why potentially some people are a little bit tired of him. Because all the X-Men movies like Days of Future Past, he's been very central to all those.
But I think that just plays on the fact that he's so good in the role.
Yeah.
17 years. You have to realise he's been doing that role on and off for 17 years. He's made 3 of the original X-Men films. Wolverine Origins, The Wolverine. He's
done Days of Future Past,
Apocalypse. He's done that role so well. Not to mention, obviously... cameo in First Class. He's done everything that's been asked of him, and he deserves a chance to go out on his own terms, doing a film that he really loves.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be that film. I think we're going to see, although we're not going to see a very different Logan. The trailer just really enticed me.
It's so different from what we've seen before of any X-Men movie trailer.
Yeah,
just the music, the
not
theme,
a dominant
the tone.
one, not a dominant one anymore. Not a dominant force like we're better than you. More now. Okay. No, we're not as powerful as you were before.
Yeah. What's
going to happen with that? How is the new Wolverine, or the old Wolverine going to be in terms of in this world compared to humans?
So I think in terms of what we've seen from the trailer and kind of what we know about the film, the Logan, in terms of the timeline of the X-Men, which is all kind of messed up, it's going to be set a year after the reboot from Days of Future Past. So at the end of Days of Future Past, we saw the timeline change. So the fact that they stopped the Sentinel program and that whole future then changed. So we saw then Logan wake up back in the original mansion with the original cast from the first trilogy and stuff like that.
Well done, such a great film.
You know, and that was a really nice touch. You know, you even saw Beast there and all these characters and stuff like that. Now, this is apparently supposed to be set like a year after that. Now, we see in the trailer that obviously Logan's now very, you know, withdrawn. You know, he's aged, he's scarred. We see Patrick Stewart back as Xavier,
but not the same.
But not the same. He's aged, and so there's quite a transformation within that potential year. So what it looks like potentially is either a virus or something has happened, which is sort of like hurt the mutant gene,
inhibiting it, or
stopping it, or slowing it down, or maybe even killing it, like a cancer, basically.
Yeah.
There is a scene in the trailer, so we're going spoilers of this trailer, by the way. Spoilers. There's a scene where he's sort of like at this graveyard having a drink. Lots of graves there. We're thinking maybe that's all the X-Men dead, you know, and he's like
quite obvious. I thought that obvious.
Yeah,
as well,
you know, he's one of the last left. You see him in the mirror. He's all scarred, so he does have his healing factor, but it's a lot slower now. But so this is going to be a combination of lots of different X-Men storylines and comics.
Yes.
So he's going to take parts of Old Man Logan, and so his healing factor slow down. But as soon as something happens, it heals, but it's going to leave a scar this time. Yeah, which is why you see some of the pictures in the trailer in the back of him. You got the young girl in it, who we think is going to be the origins of
X-23. Obviously, I think that's clear.
Yeah, and there is a scene briefly in the trailer where you see Wolverine on his back with his claws up and some other claws coming down. We're thinking maybe that's 23, so then maybe they get into a fist fight or whatever. So this is going to be very much going back to that Weapon X project. She's supposed to be the result of them going back and trying to perfect it. There's a lot in that trailer, actually, and I think what surprised me most is he doesn't look very much like Logan in it. He hasn't got the hair going.
Easy to prepare for this one. No need to bulk up for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I think his the shirts in the moments in the white vest are going to be quite limited. Yeah. But he's. I think, you know, I like the tone, and I hope the trailer's not too deceiving, and it's just very much a trailer, and the film won't be like that. But I
don't want to see any more, basically. Now. Yeah, for me personally, I think that's all I want to see of this now. That's right. And I'll probably try and actively miss.
Yeah,
the
further trailers. Yeah, I think
because I just want to know I know I've got an idea now. Let me find out the rest on my own.
Yeah, and I think there's supposed to be some rumors, apparently, that Mr. Sinister might appear in this as well.
Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant is not in the trailer. But he is definitely cast in the film, so we're thinking he may be one of the original doctors who started the Weapon X program, who's trying to potentially try and find this X-23 who's maybe escaped.
You know, obviously at the end of Apocalypse, the Weapon X tube of DNA
they take the vial of
by Essex
blood,
Corp,
right?
By Essex Corp,
which is run by Sinister, and
which is who he was. In the comics, Sinister is Nathaniel Essex. That's his name, and he goes from there. But yeah,
so I mean, in the trailer, you hear actually Xavier say she's very much like you, potentially because she is his clone. You know, they've used the blood from there to clone him. And do you think that this will be the last time we see Wolverine? Do you think he's going to die in this movie?
I reckon we're going to see a version of him dying. Yeah. In this, and I think it'd be a sad time. I think.
Yeah.
I
can see
a lot of Marvel films will shed a tear, even maybe internally.
Yeah.
At losing such an iconic actor.
And I think that'd be the right way to go out rather than walking off into the sunset.
Totally. He has. I think he has to be killed off. Okay. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him come back in the next X-Men.
The great thing about the X-Men timeline though is he could come back into a Marvel film as a cameo, and it'd be earlier on. So it's such a messed up timeline. It doesn't make any difference.
Hollywood, you know what I mean? Like,
and then X-23 is going to take over, and then potentially he's going to be in the X-Men films going forward, and that's going to be the new Wolverine, like that they did in the comics, basically, with the death of Wolverine.
Exactly. I think like with Fox have got the problem, obviously, that the comics are being, Marvel's actively trying to end the X-Men as it was, which is a very interesting decision. But we talked about before how they want to have control over it.
That's right.
And by ending the comics and introducing a new generation of X-Men, so to speak, not even rebooting the same characters,
that's right.
A new X
team,
they can then have control over that and then tie that into the Marvel studios rather than with Fox. Yeah. And Fox have got a big problem on their hands with obviously Fantastic Four not firing at all.
No.
Wolverine ending. and they're going to hang on. As much as they were 4 years ago kicking away Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, they must be thinking, we got to hold on to this now. We can't let go.
We can't. No, absolutely not. And
he'll find his door being beaten down to make many Deadpool.
Marvel will be like, we want him popping up in our movies. It's like cameo after cameo, and I think that you're right. It's such a just the word I'm trying to get out. Such a strategic move by Marvel.
Yeah, it was
to kill off the X-Men because it's like, you know what, we can't get the rights back to this property now. Fox aren't going to let them go. You know what? Let's kill off the characters. There's going to be no more comics with these characters in it for a while. And let's just everyone forget these characters. So then hopefully, I think what their idea is, Fox will not produce an X-Men movie for a while. Let the rights revert back to Marvel because there's no comics based on them.
Time travel was
the whole thing again.
Ultimates did it, and I mean, at the moment, they're more than happy to go down the Inhuman route.
Yeah.
And tie in, obviously, try and tie in a little bit the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which is kind of left that now and is moving on. But the Inhumans are there, ready to take over.
Yeah.
As
people are more
team.
aware of them, exactly.
And it'll be a new story to tell. Anyway, let's move on.
So we'll move on. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
More the same.
More the same. It's a teaser trailer. That ooga chaka, ooga chaka, and you just know it's coming. You just puts a smile on your face, right?
It does.
You know it's that type of movie.
It's a buddy film.
You're gonna kick back and laugh, And I'm really psyched for this movie. I think that it's an excellent cast. I think I've got total faith in the director. James Gunn, he did a fantastic job on the first one. And you got Baby Groot, which I feel is probably going to steal the show.
Nice little red jacket as well,
exactly,
Star Lord,
Drax.
Because
he had the jacket on as well, didn't he? So I think it's going to be hilarious.
And, the trailer just oozes the same kind of level. Lots of set piece stuff. There's them on the planet. Is that going to be?
We think that's going to be his dad, right?
Is that going to be Kurt Russell doing the voice over that?
Yeah,
absolutely. There was that big yellow circle, like yellow powerful thing, where Gamora's running with a sword. Like, what is that going to be part of it?
That's it.
And then there's just the best bits, which are the Dave Bautista graduating essentially into becoming like a mini Arnie with his comic timing
his comic timing is amazing.
It's great.
When he went back to WWE last time when the first guys was coming out, he went back for a stint. A lot of it was promotional. He wasn't great on the mic. And he wasn't that great. And,
never
people
was.
didn't react to him very well. The film came out and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Batista's amazing." It's just
he could do that because we are crying out for someone to take on that from Arnie is because he's getting older. Like, we need someone who's going to do the Mr. Freezes of
we need if everyone's talking about the fact that Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like the new Schwarzenegger. So I want Batista to be like the new Stallone. I want them to go head to head.
I'd be great to see.
You know what I mean? I want Batista and The Rock.
And funnily enough, they had some barnstorming wrestling matches, but it's just great to see that the hug and the chat from the first film is his dialogue with Chris Pratt in the first film is what so good. We've got Baby Groot, as you said, Gamora, and Gamora's sister is back. We saw that as well. What role, what they're going to be doing, how is that going to... It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it massively.
So Volume 2, that's out next year.
Can't wait.
Also, a little bit of an older trailer, but John Wick, Chapter 2. John Wick, this was out...
Tell me, because I've never seen the first.
I think John Wick was out in 2014, I think.
Tell me about the film. So what was it about again?
So basically, he seems to be like this retired hitman, and his wife dies, and he adopts a dog. Okay. And people break into his house and they kill his dog.
And so
man ain't happy.
No.
Man goes on a mission.
Kind of like Taken.
It's
destroys the place.
It's like it would have been the storyline for Taken 3. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
the better version.
Yeah, you took my daughter, you took my wife, now you
took
my dog. That's it. And I think this is going to be more of the same. The action pieces in John Wick was brilliant. Keanu is what Keanu is. He doesn't have a lot of lines in it, but he just delivers it. He's just uber cool. And in this one, it's just going to be more of the same. There was actually a video shown earlier this year of him training, and you see Keanu Reeves going around like this tactical area, picking up a gun, going from machine gun to handgun. Yeah. It's all him, and pretty much all this film is all him.
He does shooting,
that. All the stunts.
I've heard about him. He gets involved. He does what he needs to do to make
Matrix and everything go forward. All his martial arts he did himself.
Yeah,
and stuff
he
like
learns
that.
himself.
And this
very
is
dedicated.
So cool. Great cast. So again, you've got who's in this film? It's Lawrence Fishburne. So kind of reunites with him from Matrix. He's in a cameo. But yeah, really, really excited for that.
I might have to go, after seeing that trailer, it makes me want to go back and see the film.
We'll have to sit down and watch John Wick together, and you'll have to come back on and tell us.
That's how good a trailer it is. It makes me want to watch the first film.
Right, exactly. Not seeing the
It's like the same when I watched the Raid 2 trailer. Maybe we'll go watch the Raid.
Right, okay.
And then I watched Raid 2, and I was like, it blew my mind. So like, you know what I mean?
So bring on more John Wick.
More John Wick.
And the last one, this just came out of Comic-Con. I think it went kind of under the radar.
New York Comic-Con, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it was War for the Planet of the Apes. So this is like a 45-second teaser. It's more voiceover and like snow drifting into the screen, and it coats like the ape, so you can like see the outline.
Caesar, yeah.
Basically, this film is going to pretty much leave off where the last one was. Caesar and the Apes basically are battling a military colonel played by Woody Harrelson. Right?
Oh,
okay.
yes.
So,
that's what I'm talking about.
I love the first two. I think when they originally rebooted the first one, that was probably one of my favorite films that year. And then the last one was just fantastic. And I think this is such a solid franchise. Acting and what Andy Serkis can bring to that role, and the fact that he's such a pioneer of that technology industry. You forget you're watching CGI when you're watching those apes.
I'd forgotten that he was in it.
Do you know? Yeah,
I forgot that. I just watched it and I thought it was like I didn't realize that he was doing that work.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think from the first, first one, he was. Yeah, I think he was robbed of an Oscar of best supporting actor. Just
maybe at the end of the series, because like if we're talking about like Roddy McDowall, like from the original series, original series of films, like how he became to sort of embody the films.
Yeah, that's
and be the face of the films. Like. Then why not? Because all the other actors have been interchanged. We've had some amazing actors involved. We've had Gary Oldman before. We've had James Franco.
Yeah.
We've had John Lithgow. We've had there's been
some talent there.
Real talent along the way. And just remind me. So it starts off with last one we had was Gary Oldman was the Dawn of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. So
that was really good. And then before that was
so you had Dawn, then you had Rise. I think it was
that was right. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn of Planet of the Apes. Yeah, was when they first got created. That was one with the guy from Harry Potter played the guard, and he was being quite nasty to the apes in the enclosure.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
That's when they were doing the gas, and it was like making them more.
So let's have a look. So Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was the second one. So that was where they're fighting on the bridge and stuff like that. So that was out in 2014. This was 10 years after the simian flu wiped out much of the world's Homo sapiens and stuff like that. So this is where they built the colony up in the woods and stuff like that
on the island of San Francisco.
That's right. I think that
as you said, solid franchise.
Yeah, and I think from what Tim Burton did with it was very different. Where he tried. It was kind of a reboot, but not. It's his own spin on it.
Because I remember, and sadly enough, I remember going with you to watch the Mark Wahlberg 2000. Planet of the Apes,
Tim Burton
which was quite an interesting Tim Burton one. And Tim Burton's take on it was quite interesting at the time. And we came out thinking, but okay, bits of it that were quite good, but and then it went away, and then it came back, and it
was one of those that just came
out of nowhere. Slow grow. And every film I watched from the series, I wanted to see the next one, and every time the production value was good, casting was good, the story made sense. I mean, the key thing with this is, of course, that you're trying to make the audience believe that apes could become clever, could end up taking over the planet. It's a hard sell.
Yeah, no, it is,
and they've done it exceptionally well and created. I mean, the battle at the end of the last film, where
they started off at the top of the tower and they come down, and you see the apes versus the humans, and it was
really, really. I loved that film, and it was fantastic to watch. Yeah. I can't wait.
That's what it's going to be more now. So it's going to be sort of like apes on humans again. So
exactly.
So this is War for Planets of the Apes. So it's like this is the apes' planets now, and like the humans trying to take it back off them and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. So the next section. So that's kind of the hot topics we have for this week. We're just going to touch a little bit now on the film Flashback. If you haven't seen the segment of the show, this is where we talk about films that were released this week, so like 10, 20, and 30 years ago. Okay. A little bit where our affiliation of where our love of film began. So around this time, October 10 years ago, so like 2006, we had Flags of Our Fathers. war movie. That was a Clint Eastwood one. That was the double that he did.
Have you seen both of those?
I haven't seen either of those. Actually.
I've seen both of those.
Yeah.
Both films, the Japanese version, Letters to Iwo Jima,
Yeah.
and Flags of Our Fathers, are excellent films. Flags of Our Fathers takes the story of takes the story of the iconic statue of the unknown men holding the flag up,
yeah.
and it tells the story of those 5 soldiers and how, you know, maybe not the exact story, but maybe based on sort of true events, how those people ended up. They were carted around the US. They were taken from the battles, carted to the US, doing the press, and how it affected them. And it was a really, really good watch,
right?
In terms of how their characters and how it basically they just kind of lost their minds after that with the publicity, and they weren't really, like, they lost friends, and that was more important.
Yeah.
And obviously, Letters to Iwo Jima on the other side had the fantastic work, Japanese actors, about how they dealt with the battles around the Pacific Isles.
Yeah. And
both films, if you haven't seen them, audience, see both of them. They are great films.
Alright, that's going to have to add that to my watch list. Okay, and so also out around that time, around October 20th, we had The Prestige.
Saw this on Sky Movies recently. I haven't seen it yet. You've seen it.
Prestige, great film.
I think there's 2 magician films out
there. There was The Illusionist,
that was it,
with Edward Norton, and then you had the Christian Bale one
with Hugh Jackman.
Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, right? And fantastic film.
I'm going to catch that then.
Yeah, you have to see that film. It's absolutely brilliant.
That
wasn't much. It didn't do much. Those are the big releases of those weeks. I mean, we had Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas re-released in 3D. Didn't do too much on the.
You know what? Funny thing about that, I was watching.
Also we had Saw 3.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Third in the franchise. That was already 10 years ago. So
wow.
Yeah, I think we must be up to like 6 or 7 now.
Surely that must be getting a reboot again.
I think so. I think there is going to talk about another one. It's definitely one of those that you can watch in 3D and that kind of stuff.
Of course,
so right. So 20 years ago we had Sleepers.
1997, back at 96.
96.
Sleepers. Yeah.
And we had Swingers as well. Both out in the same week actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and the other big film we had was Thinner. So that was all 20 years ago.
Swingers is obviously launched so many careers,
right? Yeah.
Not Johnny Vaughan.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. The director of Iron Man, Jon Favreau. Favreau, sorry, he was in that. I mean, it sort of took that crew on to the next stage.
I have to say, I'm so guilty talking about Jon Favreau. I haven't seen The Jungle Book yet, and that's like so many people's film of this year. I need to watch that.
I need to see it. I want to see the Christopher Walken's
performance. Yeah, exactly. So
I want to see it.
I'm going to be watching that sort of like this coming week. I have to get on that.
Yeah.
My external hard drive died, and I lost all my movies. So I have to re-download them all again. So I'm going to have to get onto that. Okay. And the fact that he's now going to go on to direct The Lion King version of
live action.
It's going to be amazing. And
I don't know how you can touch that film though.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And the other one is Guy Ritchie directing Aladdin.
Live action Aladdin.
And they are doing Mulan as well. So there's lots of that going on now. Beauty and the Beast is out next year.
Yeah,
still the trailer for that.
I think some of these films I would like to see. Jungle Book live action obviously has its pluses. Lion King, could even get on the back of that.
It's going to be interesting.
Aladdin will be a tough sell for me. It's one of my favourite all-time.
Yeah,
I can even say my favourite all-time Disney films because of the late great Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I just can't see how they could better that film. 1992. It's still one of my favourite all-time. 24 years old. You know. He made that film, and obviously so much to the point when they made the second film, straight to DVD video at the time. He didn't get the plot, and then he came back for the third.
That's it.
And he got more box office because of it.
Aladdin is one of my top Disney movies of all time. I think that I think it was the age that we grew up in. It was that Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid.
We were spoiled. Hercules,
really, really great. And I think that Guy Ritchie is a good director. But I'm just like I am nervous a little bit because of that kind of property and where it's set and the kind of culture. Is it going to be one of those films because of where it should be set? Are they going to be accused of whitening out and stuff like actors and stuff like that? It's going to be quite hard.
It's going to be tough. I mean, I want to see it.
So they were talking. Okay, so we're moving a little bit away from it, but I want to come back to it. Let's talk about some actors who could play the live action role. So this is a list of potential actors who could play the genie. Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, I think he's going to be more genie. He's not going to be just a physical man.
I'd like to see him play Jafar. If I was like, I'd like to see him play Jafar.
Like that.
Yeah, I look. Just looking at that picture you got on your laptop there, and the thin face, Tony Stark,
the beard.
But by the way, Ken's looking at a picture of him in the first Iron Man film with his arms out.
Yeah,
so
you can just imagine him in a robe and a staff.
I can just and the goatee, like that goatee. Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you could do both.
I can see Benedict Cumberbatch as well as.
Yes,
as well.
yes,
But,
Jafar.
Mark Hamill as the genie.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Great voice actor.
Yeah,
he's got the ability. We've got Hannibal Burgess. Potentially, he's good on Saturday Night Live. He's written for Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. We've also got Will Forte. He had a show, The Last Man on Earth. He was in sitcoms like 30 Rock from the Sun, that 70s show. He was in the movie MacGruber as well. So, that's a possibility. Kevin Hart.
Now, you see, Kevin Hart's he's kind of he's becoming like the best thing in terms of comedy coming out of the US at the moment. Like, he's just so funny.
Yeah. I was sitting watching one of his stand-ups the other night with my girlfriend, and she was like, he's really funny. There's not many stand-up comedy she likes.
Ride Along is great. Yeah. Ride Along is fantastic. Yeah. Now here you go.
Okay, the next one, John Goodman.
Yeah, I could see John Goodman doing it.
He's big personality, big voice.
I could see him doing it.
Bill Murray.
Maybe a bit too old.
Yeah, for the genie. Maybe he hasn't got enough.
Maybe as a Sultan.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just he's the Jasmine.
White casting.
I'm white casting.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
Can you imagine him as
if people don't know and haven't seen it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you have to watch that TV show because Terry Crews
owns that. Absolutely owns that.
Owns that show and is fantastic. I mean, he could do that quite easily.
Yeah. We've got Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton.
As a genie. That is quite a possibility. We've got Bill Hader. He's
not for me.
Yeah, he's been a lot in some stuff with Amy Schumer and stuff like that. Dwayne Johnson. Could The Rock be the genie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want to see the new Disney Pixar movie that he's in, where he's playing the Samoan girl and stuff like that. See, in terms of their abilities. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey again.
Could Jim Carrey still do it?
I think a bit of makeup he could.
So
yeah, I mean, there's some good names there. I mean, you'd have to for Aladdin, like even more so than the Jungle Book. You need to really get in some proper voice talent for that film. I mean, and I want to see if we're going to make a live action Aladdin, a live action Lion King. I want to see a live action Hercules.
Yeah,
because then I would want James Wood to play.
Yes, bring him back.
Hades again.
Absolutely,
and we could have someone like in my head Rip Torn as Zeus. Like just have him and you have to recast Hercules and Megara, but have those two still on my favourite.
I also Meg the love interest in Hercules. She's probably a little bit old for it now, but I could have seen what's her name? She's playing Aunt May in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, her. I know you mean.
Mrs. Tomei. Melissa Tomei, yeah.
Yeah, I always thought
that look.
Her. Yeah, I always thought it was her.
But maybe she might be a little bit older now.
But, depends on the age you go for. I mean, are you going
to go for that young Hercules, that 18, 19-year-old?
From the animated series?
Yeah.
See, that's one of my favourite... sorry to call it
the spin-off, right?
The spin-off where they did the TV show, where they did the crossover. They did a crossover show between where Aladdin came to the Hercules' universe.
What?
You've never seen this?
I used to see this.
Two-parter, and it was amazing because it was obviously in Aladdin the film, if you didn't know, they fly over in the carpet, and one of the things they fly over is an ancient Greek or ancient Roman area.
Yeah.
And so I think they took that and they did a crossover episode where Aladdin and Jasmine met Hercules and Meg, and the villains met each other and swapped.
What?
And they had and they realized that obviously that Hades doesn't think that much, and that was a problem against a thick thick hero like Hercules.
Right, okay.
And that Aladdin was too clever for Jafar. So they thought, why don't we swap over and have a really scheming, clever villain take on Hercules? And they found that they could beat Hercules with Jafar. And that Hades could beat, because he was immortal, could beat Aladdin. And it was
amazing.
It was fantastic. It was
I'm gonna have to search this out. That is incredible. That's blowing my freaking mind.
And they had the voice talent. All the voice talent was there. They had the genie. They had all the genie. They had the same voiceover for Hades, and it was immense. It was a really good crossover.
Damn. Okay.
So it's gone back 30 years ago.
No, we're just gonna go back. So time shifting 30 years ago, out this kind of week,
86.
and this was Color of Money. What a great movie!
That was the
Tom Cruise
and Paul Newman.
Paul Newman,
and it was a redo of the first film that he made about 10, 15 years before that, wasn't it? It was where he's played
The Sting. I think it was was it The Sting?
No, it was a different one. It was a different one.
Right, okay.
But where he plays the pool player.
Yeah, that's right.
Watched that recently, actually, about 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, still some
Tom Cruise,
great talent.
one of Tom Cruise's best films, acting wise, really plays the part well. And again, obviously, Paul Newman's Paul Newman.
Yeah, no, that's it. Right, so that's the film Flashback. So we're just going to wrap it up. We haven't got the channel Flick Challenge this week because not really fair if we fight each other and I decide who wins. So we'll move that to next week. Winner! Judge rules, not a mother! Right, so we're just going to talk any other business. There's something that came out Comic-Con, which was fantastic. They talked about the Defenders. They had the cast up there for the Netflix series. Yeah. And Sigourney Weaver has been cast as the villain in the Defenders series. Oh. So that has got some real possibilities, right? They put some big power into that. So if you're not sure who the Defenders are, that is your Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. All together in the one show. Iron Fist, they did drop a new trailer. That looks great. Really that mystical stuff.
I haven't seen it yet. But I'm still really not sold on the whiteness of it. I'm still. I
understand.
Still happy about Donnie Yen.
And I think that a lot of that noise came about Doctor Strange. But the reviews coming out of Doctor Strange at the moment are so positive. I'm seeing Doctor Strange next weekend. I'm going to see it on the 29th, the IMAX 3D. And I'm told visually it's outstanding. You know, people are like, forget Inception, forget that. This is amazing. You have to see an IMAX in 3D. So if you are planning on seeing Doctor Strange, I recommend you pay IMAX or pay at least 3D and see that how it's supposed to be seen. Also, just for us, because I know in the States they've already like 2 or 3 episodes in now. And I haven't been downloading, so I'm waiting for it to hit Sky One. Is the Flash and Arrow return? They are coming back with Supergirl, who moved over to the CW network, so they're all in the same universe now. And also
Superman is coming.
So Superman is in the Supergirl. He's going to be in a
hopefully not a lot
2-part pilot. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so the
first episode.
The images came out of him. It looked really bad cosplay. It looked really awful.
When you've got Henry Cavill, who naturally, not through like suit, naturally put on the bulk, worked himself up to that.
Yeah. You see him come out of that war and grab the shirt off the shopping line in like Man of Steel.
That's him. That's him beefcaking that himself. And that props to that because not everybody can put on weight like that to make themselves look like. He looks hedge. He looks like the guy who should be. If he wasn't Superman, he'd be like Superman's brother.
Just because just because they messed up the character, that's not his fault.
No, he worked his ass off.
He looked the piece.
And this guy just doesn't look like. He's going back to like. We're going back to like. No offense to the guy.
He just looks like really bad cosplay.
No offense to the guy, but like I like he looks more like Dean Cain from the TV series, and like. Normal guy, and you can't like the suit kind of did the work for Dean Cain there. No offense to Dean Cain, love Dean Cain. Really happy he's in Supergirl as well.
Yeah, like, I think it was more of that promotional image they showed of him.
Yeah,
I think I've
next
seen
to
some,
her.
Yeah, but I think I've seen some other images where he doesn't look that bad. So I think it was just really bad Photoshop or.
The thing is that she looks good as Supergirl.
Yeah,
I quite like her as Supergirl. I quite like her as that.
See, if you look at him here, I'm just sure I'll have this image come up on the screen for you now. If you have a look at that, he doesn't look as bad. Yeah, he doesn't look as bad.
The suit looks alright.
Suit looks okay. A little bit more Man of Steel-ish. But if you compare that to the promotional one that they had of him, it looks really shocking.
Yeah, the promotion one looks CG, to be honest, because like the one in the middle doesn't look too bad.
It's like they shaped his jaw, but shaped it badly.
Yeah, they look like they airbrushed it. But I mean, the thing is, it should be about her. I don't want her to be sidelined. I mean, it's bad enough, obviously, that you want to have like a female lead you want to have her pushed.
Yeah.
And they did well with Calista Flockhart being in there as well, the Perry White type character. Fantastic, brilliant. And they've actually got
It was an easy show to watch. I didn't mind it.
No, it wasn't meaty
yeah.
like a Daredevil or Dark. Yeah. But it was you know what? It was, in my mind, funny enough, it was kind of like the natural successor to the New Adventures of Superman with Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Like watching on TV with some cool, and obviously much better action. You know.
I did enjoy the Flash crossover.
Yeah.
And the way they did that was the multiverse. And I'm just wondering now that she has moved over to CW Network, are they going to make that more, because you're going to have the Flash paradox?
You should be in
Flashpoint paradox. She'll
That's
be
what's
that
happened.
part of that universe now, which will make more sense.
It makes sense to me.
So,
well, Flash is just, for me...
Those first 2 seasons were fantastic.
I think the first season was slow grow. Was quite built up quite nicely. They fleshed out characters. The reveal of so spoilers here. The reveal of the villain of the Reverse Flash, immense. Yeah. And then from that point on, there was the great ominous feeling of waiting for that showdown. Then they obviously did that, and that was well done. Then you had then you got introduced to the multiverse, and then you had all the stuff, the characters and stuff from that. And it was just handled so well.
And when he decided to run back in time at the end of that episode, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And
then when they sort of set up that, and then they started teasing, they did a teaser trailer for the new series.
Yeah, they did.
Where they teased Flashpoint Paradox, and everyone lost their. If you haven't seen the animated film, it's on Amazon Video at the moment. Watch that animated film because it will open your eyes to how good Flash can be. And if they handle it right, it will be excellent. If they handle it badly, it's still going to be the Flash. It's still Grant Gustin is.
Yeah, and I like him, and I wish they'd used him in the movies, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with Justice League and the Flash. So,
well, before we go on that last point, that Justice League. I mean, you were talking to me before the filming, like. How long between films?
It's almost like a year and a half, like 2 years almost. So it's like
we'll have to see how that goes because I can't know if I can hold things in my memory that
like
long.
Aquaman's not.
I've got a baby now. I can't hold plot details for a year and a half.
Right, especially when it's a part 1, part 2. And like, Aquaman's not for like another 3 years. Cyborg's not until 2020.
Yeah,
it's just
sorry, viewers, because we looked over this. Like the timing, DC needs to get their house in order. Basically, push back. I would say push back Justice League.
They rushed
push forward all the character films, get them done, and then reshoot them or add shots into them so that you can build naturally to a Justice League film with a fantastic cast of villains.
Yeah, I think Wonder Woman's going to be a big test for them. Following on from BVS, if Wonder Woman can do some box office business, they'll restore a little bit of faith before Justice League. If that pans,
what's our audience though? Is the audience going to be women? Is the audience women with
it's
that?
Supposed to be, but now it's just like any DC fanboy that'll go see it. They'll take anyone.
And I think, true.
And I think
they'll pay money on the door. Come see our film.
Come see our film. And I think I think that's what it's going to be really interesting to see what the next trailer brings for Wonder Woman. Because
it's going to make or break it.
It's going to be a case of they really need to appeal for the audience. Now, I quite liked the last trailer for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I did.
It's set in that World War II setting. Her lasso, the actual action looked really good.
Yeah.
So I've got fingers crossed for that because I don't want to see DC fail. I love these characters. It's just I'm hating on some of the stuff they're doing right now. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for us for this week. That was Any Other Business. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Please share the video around. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook at Friends Talk Film. You can find us on Twitter at Friends Talk Film. And if you want to send us any recommendations, anything you'd like us to chat about, any film reviews you'd like to see, new or even retrospectively, trailer reviews, anything like that, you can get in contact with us, friendstalkfilm@gmail.com. If you want to find me on Facebook, you won't, because you can find me on Twitter. You can find me.
You can't find me.
You'll find me at Kenan Akbala, or you can find me on Instagram. See the information below. Chris is anonymous on social media.
Yeah, but I'm a teacher, so I can't. I'm not on there at all.
He's not on the web. So that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.